So we talked a little bit about influencers and organizations, and what that leads us to is partners and partnerships. And this is something that we want you to be thinking about, because a partner is someone who already has a group of people who are organized around a specific theme or event, but it's an audience that you can tap into that already exists. Partners often have their own organizational needs. If you're working with a nonprofit, they also need to raise money. So if you're going to ask them to reach out to their audience on behalf of your fundraising effort in your crowdfunding campaign, they have to have a really clear sense of what they're going to get out of it, what's going to improve their own fundraising capability. And that might mean you're willing to offer them a cut of the film, or a portion of the proceeds of the film when it's finished, or advanced screenings that they can use for fundraising efforts. You have to have a really clear sense of what an organization needs and what it is that you are offering to them in the form of content or maybe reach, because maybe that organization has a big group of followers that's different from the group of followers you've already built, and that's something that you can offer them access to as well. Which means there's a lot of research to do and organization to get ready for those meetings and preparing your materials, but really figuring out, what does that partner do? What do they need, and what can you offer to them? It will make a very powerful partnership rather than one where you just show up begging for something. Here's what we discovered when we were actually launching the Stay Indie Tour as a national teaching program. The first thing we did was we took to social media and we said, hey, we're gonna teach this class. We think it's called Crowdfunding to Build Independence. We need a hashtag. HiveMind, what do you think our hashtag should be? And we interacted with our audience for a while, and they were the ones who came up with the Stay Indie Tour. First, we got the hashtag from our crowd. Because we were out there talking about it, somebody that I had met on an airplane at South by Southwest several years before said, hey, we're starting this new cloud-based storage solution company for filmmakers. Could we give you, let's say, gas money, and then you could tell them about this new product that we're working on? And we said, sure, but in order to make it really sing for our filmmakers, would you be willing to offer our filmmakers a discount? Because the organization saw that we were going to reach about 1,000 people in their target market. Now, we went on the road, we taught in 35 cities in 65 days, we gathered a whole bunch of data about how successful the classes were, so that in February of 2015, when we had 150 requests to teach the class all over the world, we needed a bigger sponsor because we needed some more resources. And that's when we took this capability to G Technology, and they became an integral partner. So they gave us sponsorship dollars to allow us to offer these classes for free. They offered discounts to our filmmakers in the form of a sponsored wish list grant. And our filmmakers got a chance to get access to the highest quality storage solutions that they could get. This is a way that we can show you that building an audience can also bring you these partnerships. It doesn't just start with like, hey, I got this cool idea, want to give me some money for it? And also another example that a filmmaker has used was fundraising on Seed&Spark, and she had a couple very large nonprofit organizations who were partnering with her. But in order for her to include any of their names in any of her tweets or outreach, she had to clear all of that messaging through their legal department 2 weeks before it was going to go out. So that's just to say that partnerships are amazing, and they take a lot of time and organization to set up. Our friends over at Picture Motion will tell you that often it takes between 6 and 18 months to get a really powerful partnership on board. The nice thing is the development cycle and production cycle of your film might take equally as long, which is why it's really important for you to start thinking about these things in the development phase, so that by the time you really need to leverage these partnerships, they're set up and ready to go. In order to make a really compelling offering to a potential partner, you need to have a very clear sense of what they need and what it is that you can offer to fulfill that need. And similar to the audience interviews we did in the previous chapter, the way that you find out what they need is that you ask them. You ask for an initial call, or you sit down with them, or you interact with them on Twitter to find out what are the things that would really help them advance their initiatives in whatever calendar year you're working in. With brands, they often have things called brand pillars. These can be very general in a certain way, like car companies are always technology, innovation, prestige. But if you know that about a brand, when you come to offer something to them, you can speak to them in their own language, which shows them that you're really paying attention and that what they are trying to achieve is also important to you. Similarly, with nonprofit partners, you really need to find out what are their fundraising objectives? What are the other tactics they're using? Who else are they partnered with? Because you have to have a really clear sense of how what you're offering might be different for or additive to the work that they're already doing. And keep in mind, of course, that nonprofit folks are as overworked and underpaid as our indie filmmakers. So you want to have a really concise one sheet ready to go that explains exactly why this partnership is right for them.
Make it very, very easy for anyone who's going to be working with you to help you, to share what you're doing, to partner with you.
In the next chapter, we're going to talk about how to use social media as a tool to bring people from the ether into the center, to your core audience.
And that starts with how are you talking to them and where are you talking to them? So really focusing on tone and messaging.